Empower DC responded to something you said earlier. Ron, I think the Police Reform Commission that you are a part of released its recommendations. What, if any, feedback did you get from Chief Conti and DC officials?
Well, the recommendations have been submitted to the city council, and they're going through the process of dividing the recommendations up to the very committees that oversee the area that is related to the recommendations. For example, there's a recommendation there about removing police officers from schools. So the school committee, the committee on education, which is now part of the committee of the whole under council member Mendelson, is handling that. The ones that have to do with the police department policies and practices are going to be in the Judiciary Committee by Council Member Allen. So there are a variety of things. There's some recommendations that talk about, like I just said a few minutes ago, about working with people with disabilities. That's going to be under Councilmember Gray's office because he has DBH under him and all of that. So they're at the council. They're being divvied up. We will, commission members will be testifying in support of or answering questions in relationship to the development of those recommendations, and we're moving ahead. But we're going to need the community because these recommendations are for the police department on behalf of the community. Everybody who was on the commission is a DC resident, someone who lives and works in this city, in the area, like myself, who has and have had and still has an interest in public safety. And so a copy of the recommendations online under the DC Police Reform Commission .org. And you can go on there and download it. It's a thick document, so at least you can download the maybe the recommendations or the summary. But that information is available, and so it's in the hands of the council at this time.
Good to know that's publicly available. So next question: what advice? Jeannie Wine 315 Genevieve asked, how long will it take for them to act on the recommendations?
That's a good question. Hopefully the council is going to go through the process of having the hearings, and then they'll be passed on to the affected agency, and then they should be in the process of implementing them. Now, the implementation process is going to take time because you cannot stop something one day that you've been doing for 150 years and then start something else the next day. You just can't do that. So most things that have any worth and complexity to them, it has to be on a timely implementation basis. And so that's what the commission, we're going to be around. If you're a citizen of the District of Columbia, then you need to be paying attention to that. And then we're going to be monitoring the process of the implementation of the recommendations. That's a job and responsibility of the commission also, as well as the citizens who live in this city. So there's no time span because, like I said, it's 93 recommendations, and they go to address some of the bad cultural systemic issues that exist in the police department. And in order for it to be right and get done right, it's going to take some time.
Okay.
Now, not forever, but it's going to take some time.
Right. It makes sense. Like anything that's worth doing is worth doing, slowly and rushed. So, but also shouldn't just be pushed on forever and ever. There needs to be an end time.
Yeah, and we need to be paying attention to them because the culture of policing is that it's a closed society. They work for you, but you don't need to know what they do because they're the professionals. That's BS. That is BS, pure BS. There's nothing complex or confusing about police work. All you need to do is a person can read and study and know what's going on, and then pay attention to it. So that's what citizens do.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely.